that works. Gambling is just throwing money into a random place without the research, without the strategy. And what a lot of people are doing now that I'm seeing is a straight gambling. You know what I mean? Like, even when it comes down to something as crazy as earnings, there's a strategy to play earnings. You can play both sides. Like, you know what I mean? To take the gambling out. But I'm seeing people literally line up a trade and not even look at the higher time frames. Just get into a trade. If you're buying calls from Twitter, you saw somebody post a trade idea out there, you just got into the trade. You gambled. Trading, like I said before, is nothing more than an executed process, right? You have to be able to, it's like an educated guess, a game of probabilities, right? You know, if you buy within these five things, you have a higher probability of it winning. Anytime you guys are trading without that, you're legitimately shooting yourself in the foot. Like, trading is a thing that can be done. What a lot of people don't realize is that there's an art to trading, and then there's an even bigger art to not trading. Right now, in this current market, the market we've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had no direction. You know what I mean? But yet instead, I'm seeing the biggest losses I've ever seen consecutively when it's so easy. Don't trade. There's so many people who keep forcing themselves into the market when you don't have that educated process. So now what you're doing is you're gambling. Okay. Something that somebody else brought up, because I'm just going rants and somebody stop me when I get ranting, is should I pay for a Discord class or an educational research basis, or should I just do everything on YouTube? My boy Rico, he did a space on this. I'm gonna just give my 2 cents on the topic here too as well. And I'm not just saying this because I do produce my own content and I do sell content. I also produce equally as much free content out there to help people as well. So I do both sides of the spectrum. So you can't come at me because this is my honest, unbiased opinion. If trading was so easy that you could get on a YouTube video, watch it, and do it, everybody would do it successfully because everybody now has a trading account. Everybody has a Robinhood account. Everybody has some money somewhere in one stock or another. But if it was this easy that you can just watch it on YouTube, there would be so many more traders. Why? Because it's different. There's other pieces that are missing. More importantly, the mindset. So if you're going to buy a course, just buy a course that's focused on discipline. It sounds super crazy, but I'm telling you, this is your answer, right? Because at the end of the day, we almost all trade the same setups. You trade the strat, you trade very similar to what I trade. If you trade any type of pattern breakout, you trade basically the strat. There's a new one coming around here called ICT, which is the same goddamn thing. Everybody in here can pretty much point out a wedge, bull flag, head and shoulders. You can tell me where you would have bought and where you really sold. So we're all doing the same thing. Why is it only 5% of us are winning? Why? Discipline, mindset. I'll give you a perfect example right now. This market is a piece of shit. It ain't going up. It ain't going down. It's legitimately going sideways. And the real big players aren't really deploying capital right now, right? But yet instead, the majority of people on Twitter, I lost today. I lost tomorrow. Now you're doing something you didn't do yesterday. You're doing something completely different that you don't understand. So what you're essentially doing is you're gambling. What I need everybody to do is backtrack everything that you've been doing, review your trades, and start to implement some type of process. Now, how can you put together a process? You need to take 50 trades. I say this a lot, but if you're starting from scratch, like, yo, I got some money in my account right now, I don't know what to do. Just listen. Number one, go in a simulated account, and then take 50 trades. Get something on the board and just adjust and readjust. The current problem we're facing right now in the market is the fact that we've dealt with the choppy market for an extended period of time, right? A lot of times, especially coming from last year, we'll get like a week of chop and then it'll keep going up, right? Or this more current year until the last couple of weeks, we'll get like a down move, a little bit of chop, a recovery. But now it's just no direction. So what happens in these environments is you start gambling. You start doubting. This is how you fuck up. You start doubting yourself. It's like, I took 3 trades. I lost on these 3 trades. By the way, you lost small because you followed your process. You didn't take no major loss. You lost 3 times acceptable losses. You're good. So what happens is most people aren't experienced enough to sit here and say, hey, my strategy is going to work over the course of 100 trades. They just see the short term, and then they start system hopping. They start going from place to place to place, influencer to influencer, YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and now you're doing something that you have never tested, you have never worked in a market where nothing is working. That's called gambling, in my opinion. Right? If you're forcing trades right now, you're legitly gambling, and you need to get the fuck away from the market. It's so simple. I took off Monday. Man, I was happy as shit. I came to work late yesterday, Tuesday. Looked at the market, it was shitty. Left. Right? Did a call with Wolf at night. And then I came back today. I took basically 5 trades, won 3 of those 5s in and out very quickly. Then I was just done. Right? Because I'm implementing the process and I'm getting in and out. Oh shit, I see 7 in the crowd. Come on up. I'm gonna invite these guys to speak. I see 7 and Andrew. Feel free to come on up if you guys want to. Matter of fact, actually just randomly open the space with no topic. Somebody come up here and ask me a question. That way I can get a direction going of get a direction going of where I can rant on to. Because right now I got no topics, man. I'm just getting away from the damn market. What up, Andrew?
Juicy, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Chilling, brother. How about you?
Doing all right. Crazy day today, right? We went from like super chop to like super rip very quickly.
Yeah, that's why I caught that spy trade, man. I was done after that, man. I'm not, whatever.
Yo, X, what's good, bro? You still on vacation or what?
Man, I'm on staycation right now, bro. Well, what's a vacation, bro? I never really have an actual vacation when I'm not working.
No, I feel that. You know, then I
Hello,
know.
hello. Juicy, I have a question for you.
Okay. What's up? 7, you was done?
No. I mean, I definitely want to tackle some points that you mentioned, but
Go ahead. My bad.
No. You have a question, man. I'm just here for the vibes and
Okay.
to assist and serve.
Yeah. I was just wondering, you saying like there's a big difference between gambling and trading, and I definitely understand that. But I'm wondering, where's your edge then? Because you're saying you're able to do a back test of strategy. So you're saying you're using the strat, or like what's your edge here?
So for me, I was just using that as an example. I was just trying to bring out the point is that if you trade strat, majority of times you're a breakout trader. Like a lot of people here, they trade breakouts, and if you bring the strat on a lower time frame, it's almost 9 out of 10 some form of pattern, right? So it's pretty much the same. Now, me personally, where I get an edge is basically because I use price action and flow. If price action is bullish, I'm inside a bullish market. I got bullish flow in the stock. I'm gonna hit that trade. I only want to hit that trade. That's my edge because I have no desire to trade. I only want to trade when everything lines up. The only turnoff about that is there's times I'm all over the place trading, and then there's times where I'm not trading, and then there's a lot of times where I'm not trading and the market's moving. Right. So me as a trader, you got to really realize that says, hey, if this stock isn't doing my edge and is moving up, or the market or the indices moving up, I can't just hop into the trade. That's the difference. That's what a gambler would do. Like every trade I take is a checklist of items for me to get into that trade. I can't even show you a trade that I have that I executed without that checklist. And that's what you should be doing. That's the difference between trading and gambling, because everything on the trading aspect should be calculated before you hit enter. Right? You should know where you're going to buy, where you're going to sell, where your price target is at, what to do if the trade goes wrong, where to get out, where to take profits. That's what a trader does versus somebody who says, here's a pattern, I'm going to get in. Big difference.
Yeah. Okay. Very well said, man. Thanks.
Throwing it back to you, 7.
Yeah, nah, for sure, bro. So you definitely said a lot of things that I wanted to touch on. And this is a great topic. I think this is kind of overdue, considering how the market's been the last couple of weeks. You said the market's been a piece of shit. Apparently, there's people who said saying options and trading is easy. I don't know how they're doing, but as far as like the gambling versus trading aspect, I think is an important thing to readdress multiple times because, like you also said, you don't have no idea what the person behind their computer screen or behind their phone is doing and what their strategy is and what their edge is. If somebody shares a trade idea, you can assume something, but you don't know if they're just saying fuck it or if they actually spend hours in taking trades or spend hours in due diligence and analysis. Like for me, for example, this entire day, I took 3 trades, one losing trade, 2 winning trades. I don't win every trade, but I'm doing analysis and due diligence. And then somebody asks about their edge and what's your edge. Every single person has a different edge, and that can depend on their personality, maybe what brokerage they use, and their account size, and how fast they learn. How fast they add a new utility to their belts, etc. Everyone has their own process and their own journey. Like for me, my edge is playing gaps, buy low, sell high. Sometimes earnings. That's not my only strategy, but I have multiple strategies and I adapt to what the market's giving me, right? And I have a calculation. How much am I willing to lose? A lot of people, they want the get rich quick money, and I understand that because I've been there. I don't have 10 years of experience, but I did take a $2,000 account to six figures. I do trade full time, right? And that was from my edge, and that was, if I was gambling, that's not possible. It's just not. It took a long time, right? Gambling, even with sports betting, I don't know if you peeped, but you know even with that, there's a strategy and there's due diligence and analysis. And before I pick my parlays, I'll spend 2 hours using bots and using analysis to pick my plays. And with that, I turned $500 into 30,000 in 8 days. I'm proud of that shit. The 8 days took a break because I don't need to. Because then you get that FOMO, and then you start gambling. I
Yo,
can't mute him, X.
yo, I'm glad. I think his name is Seven. I'm glad Seven said that, bro. Cause I just got two quick things to say right quick, right? With sports betting and with trading, right? Juicy talk about discipline. That's all the game really comes down to is discipline. You putting in the hours. With betting, you're putting in the hours to you looking through stats, you looking through analysis. It don't matter what sports you looking at. You putting the time and you putting the work in. You're hedging against yourself. You looking for high probability setups in your trading. Like same stuff, bro. I really think it all ties down. It comes down to discipline. So I'm glad you said that because it's I know a lot of people personally that have like really come up off of what I'm saying? People call it gambling, but you gotta take a calculated and controlled effort to it and know like when to put the chips in and when to take the chips out. And then
Right.
just the second thing I had to say because I want to make sure this is flowing. Everybody has time to talk type shit. I don't want to take up too much time. But if y'all was talking about uh, uh, a topic for this, I don't know if we doing gambling versus trading or like an actual topic, but for a topic, I think a good thing to hit on would be like, how do you know what kind of trader you are? Like, what's your style? Should you be somebody who's going into equity? Are you getting options? Are you looking for dividend plays? Like, I feel like we should look more into finding your style of trading instead of trying to push like too much into retail crowd because everybody I think should have like a different style you got to cultivate, but everybody's going to do it differently. Nobody's running like we're all running a race, but it's not the same. It's not the same event type shit. You feel me? Like I like to relate this shit back to sports because like I got like a sports background and shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like you might start at like a novice, but eventually you can turn this shit into a career type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if we like can hit on some points, how can you cultivate what kind of trader you are? Are you somebody that's looking for stocks buy low and sell high? Are you somebody that wants to play option strategy? Maybe a mix of it, but how can you get people's like heads wrapped around in the hey let's start you out with this and try and build off of that before you know what I'm saying dive too deep into the game because there's a lot of aspects to this shit, but I feel like just getting people like a solid base that's more important. But
Yeah,
just trying to
I want to
piggyback.
I want to share my idea and X. Let me know. I mean, anybody on stage, how you guys feel about this? Because I think that was really important, and I appreciate you sharing that, Zay, for sure. Like I agree with all of that. And it's one of those gray areas where it's kind of tricky, where there you can't. Nobody can tell you what your edge is, right? You can't buy something or watch a YouTube video and be like, "Oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what's gonna work for me." Now, if that's the case, and if it does work for you, then great. But I've had situations where I know somebody personally who had a great 2 years consistently winning, changed his strategy, went from just a traditional technical analysis trader, took off all his indicators, went to the strat, blew up his account. And I know somebody else who did the opposite, who went and you started using the strat and it worked amazing for him, right? So it's just kind of like a different strokes for different folks. As I said earlier, your personality plays into a part, your account size, your availability, how much time do you have in the day? What are you even interested in? Are you playing what you know, or just playing random tickers because somebody mentioned it to you or you've seen it on Twitter? Like, I think all those things come into a part. Like, so like for me in my experience, I discovered my edge by being in the trenches. I discovered my edge and what's allowing me to be consistently profitable, where I look back at the month and 3 months in the year and I am green. So if my strategy is unorthodox and people don't agree with it, I don't give a fuck, because this is my edge. It's what works for me. You understand me? So, it's one of those situations where people, especially newer traders, like you want to be careful of who you learn from, but you have to really accept everything that comes with the process up front, and not have an unrealistic expectation that you're just going to pick things up and things are going to be sunflowers and rainbows, and you're going to be, you're going to make $100,000 in a couple weeks off rip. It's not how it works. You got to try new things. And sometimes, especially in a market like this, trying new things can be unforgiving. But that's why you have a plan. You plan for the end at the beginning, and you have a risk management process. So if you are experiencing pain, it's not excruciating, and you're not blowing up your account, so that you can stay in the game and still, try other things until you discover that edge. But that's how I feel about it. I don't know. How do you feel about that, X? Let me know if I'm tripping.
Nah. You're good. I think you're right on the spot, man. Just to tag along with that, I mean, I think you pretty much answered this question. Um, I want to tag along and say discovering who you are as a trader is just like as Seven says, is getting involved and seeing and getting involved and just seeing what's going to fit your personality. Like, some people aren't supposed to be day traders, but they're day traders, right? Because their first thing that they saw was they knew somebody that was a day trader. They hung out with this guy or talked to him on Twitter, took a trade on a day trading perspective, won money on it. Now they're a day trader, right? So, I mean, for me, it's more of getting money into the market, getting to the point where you can make a strategy, and then scaling up that strategy once you have proof that it works, and then put more money into those trades. Now, one thing that we all need to talk about as a whole is, once you get profitable, what do you do with the money? You know what I mean? Like people don't really talk about these kind of things. And my recommendation is sounds crazy. You sitting down here trading stocks all day, you still need to see a financial advisor. You know, you for the first time in your life, you have 100K in your bank account. Maybe you should put some of that back into the market. Maybe you should allocate that somewhere where it could pay you back over time, right? Because a lot of us, I've seen this happen a lot too. They'll make a bunch of money trading, and then it's like, all right, well, look, I went from making 30K a year as a fry cook or whatever. Now I just made 500K trading. I'm gonna quit my job and do this full time. But while you have that extra money there, see somebody and set that money back into the market. Because another thing that everybody needs to learn how to do is invest long term, and it goes beyond just buying random stocks. You know what I mean? Like, I have a portfolio built of just stocks and indices that I'm going to retire off of. Trading is just income at this point for me. And I distribute that money in different ways. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that definitely answers the question. I just wanted to like pose it to get people like thinking about trading and like hitting on their styles, because it is a lot of people like join the space, and I know a lot of people are trying to like get involved into it, but I feel like everybody you kind of like you're looking way too far out. Like you're looking too broad. Like I know you want to start broad to get that information, but I feel like at some point you want to kind of try and narrow it down and hone in on certain things. And I just want people to kind of like try and get their minds to wrap around that. Like it's cool to try a lot of this stuff that's going on in the market, but you really got to figure out yourself, and you got to figure out what's gonna work for yourself, because this shit can be stressful. It can take a while to get it, but when you get it, you got it. So just keep pushing through it, man. That's all I want to say, y'all. Thank y'all.
100%. I think we had another speaker with his hand up. King Kato, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fam?
Nothing much. Hey, I'm a recent strat trader. I got a small account, $500. I just had a few questions regarding the overall direction of the market. Well, overall direction of the market, and I want to ask how you feel about swinging in this current market condition, and do you think quantitative tightening is going to lower the market more than 5%?
So for me, when we start talking about the market, I'm looking at SPY and its overall like 11 sectors, right? So just looking at SPY, we still don't have a direction. Yes, right now we towards the end of the day we got a good day off. Jobs numbers is looking okay. And then for anybody that's listening to tightening, what he's talking about is basically power pulling the money out of the market that he put in or in other ways. And in those tightening phases, we do see choppier and slower markets. Doesn't mean we get a bear market. And that's just because the Federal Reserve is leaving, right? So for me, I think the more important thing to say is you trade the strat. Well, you know the strat, they're going to go ahead and start talking about yearly, quarterly charts. Now, if you go ahead and look at yearly, quarterly charts, you'll notice that the majority of the sectors, the majority of the names on these charts are straight up, excluding this year. So that's going to tell me as a trader, I don't foresee a dump yet. We need some quarterly candles to close, but I do foresee a lot of chop. Like a lot of what you saw over the last 2 weeks is pretty much is what's going to be here for a long period of time because the market went from fucking zero to nothing really quick, right? And I don't think we pull back. Valuations and a lot of these names are very strong. A lot of these names like Apple, Amazon can meet these valuations if not overperform. I don't think we get into a bear market. I think we just stay inside of a choppy market for a while. And I think you see certain names, certain weird rotations, such as money going into energy, money going into staples. Until tech can rotate back up, I don't foresee the market going up. And right now, tech is just too extended and they put it in the gutter. So I think tech chops around, but until tech can recover, I don't think we start to see those highs just yet. I don't foresee like a 6 or a 10% down move yet. We need something crazy to happen. COVID 3.0, an actual war at Russia. We need something crazy like that going on. But right now, I think we just chop around the whole. Not sure how you see it, Seven.
Yeah, for me, I mean, what March has been for the last couple years have been a bearish month, and February has been low volume. So I don't anticipate, and then just look at what's happening in the world, right? I don't anticipate a ton of volume just to come in out of nowhere for a long term position. I would expect more short term, and that's why I'm mostly scalping and day trading. And I'm swinging in profits. So if I do decide to swing, I'm swinging green. If not, then I'm just chilling and sitting on cash and just waiting for the market to give me something of what I'm looking at. So, and X, you touched on boredom trading a couple weeks ago. I think that's extremely important and should be revisited as well. Where yeah, I'm not going to submit to that. I don't have to trade. In a market where my watch list is just not doing what I want it to do, right? It's not going to do what I wanted to do ever. The market's going to market. So, and I'm not going to just FOMO into something else. I'm going to stick to my plan and stick to my guns, because that's what I've done my due diligence on. That's what I prepared for, right? So, I don't expect a ton of crazy moves. I think the market is going to depend on just the news and what happens, so it's kind of like whatever technical analysis shows you, that shit will go out the window if a major catalyst comes out. So something that I'm watching and I'm paying attention to. Where I like January was an amazing month for me and for a lot of other people, especially the last 2 weeks and the first week of February. So it's kind of like why force anything right now? Just sit back and wait for strong confidence, not just medium confidence, not just okay, I think this is going to happen. No, strong confidence and then execute according to your plan and your edge. So that's just how I'm moving. I'm not, I'm chilling, man. Taking it one trade at a time. You win some, you lose some. You're winning more than you're losing. You're doing it right.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and tag along just with you. I totally agree. I started this year's with 7 figures plus. I officially hit 100% about a week and a half ago. And honestly, bro, like I'm 100% on my account right now. This market has to beg me to get in it. Like it has to show me the booty for me to get up inside this market, man. This shit is is absolutely trash. It is not the environment for you to sit here and try to sit here and justify like there's a lot of people out here just trading shit and just making shit up and then trying to justify it to me. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Stop doing it. The market's literally just taking people's money right now. And that's their job, man. So for me, one thing that you got to take away from this is have something to do on these boring days. So me personally, what I've been doing lately is stacking up all my errands that I have to do. I know I can do over the weekend. Start doing them during the week. That way, I know at 12 o'clock I got shit I got to do. So if this market not doing what I wanted to do, I'm in my car doing a bunch of shit, and that's going to keep me away from this market here. But yeah, we have anybody else on? We got Chris. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how's it going? I figured I'd request to be a speaker. One of my buddies, Andrew, was in this chat as a speaker. I think he might have left though. As a background, have spent about a little over a decade in institutional mutual fund and ETF portfolio management for one of the largest buy-side firms on the planet. I just was listening to some of the comments. I think I overheard a gentleman who had just started with some residual income. I just wanted to offer some suggestions for anyone who cares or is listening. I understand that there's a lot of technical traders in here and day traders in here, but I think it's really important to identify that if you don't have the experience or the knowledge or the fundamental strategy to day trade, your investments are very much going to be like a gamble. I am what the market would consider somewhat of a boglehead. For those who don't know, Jack Bogle was the founder of Vanguard, and he's written quite a number of really incredible books on passive indexing, meaning rather than buy an individual stock like Facebook or Apple or whichever company you think might be undervalued, Jack Bogle believed that, and he had a lot of data to prove this, that if you look at all of the hedge fund shops and active managers over the course of, let's say, 100 years, there's a very, very small percentage of them that not only survive, right? Most of them end up going under, but those that end up surviving, if you look at their performance, it's oftentimes, and it's like over 90% that these managers do not beat the index. And when I say an index, I mean like the S&P 500 as an example. So I was just going to mention that if you're just starting out into investing and you're just starting to try and figure out what am I trying to accomplish here, I would really try to focus on literature associated with whole market indexing or whole market investing, right? Rather than, like I said, buying an individual security, perhaps consider buying the entire market. And then, as a lot of these individuals on this call are saying, from a technical perspective, from a trading perspective, once you have a core portfolio or once you have those core investments, you could consider taking a small percentage as you become more familiar with day trading and try and make an investment for the short term or for a short quick profit, whatever the case might be relative to your technical analysis.
No way. Thanks for coming up. And number one, and number two, I totally have to agree with them. A big portion of what I do, especially in my long term, a lot of people don't know. I have 14,000 shares and some change of SPY. It is my biggest holding, and it's the actual shares. Anytime we go ex-div or dividend, I reinvest everything. And the reason is just because of what he's saying. The market goes up as a whole. Stocks are designed to go higher as a whole. You trying to individually pick a name without that knowledge, you're not going to outperform the SPY. In fact, the majority back when I was a financial advisor, I would sell these mutual funds, which were basically the same components of the damn SPY or a sector out of that SPY. I might be selling you an energy mutual fund, but all it was is the biggest tickers in the XLE, right? So that's what in my opinion, is the smartest thing to do because it gives you the time and horizon. But people are lured into these options contracts because the return is quick. But that problem with that is you need to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You need to be able to a point where you can consistently generate profits. And if you can consistently generate profits using options, you can just scale up and from there. But again, totally agree with everything he just said.
Yep.
Yeah,
And the only
me too. Before you go, because like I want to share like how it is for me and how I think that's important, especially for like anyone who is coming across like a amount of money from the market that they're not very familiar with. I'll be the first one to raise my hand and admit that that's me, right? Where uh, X just said that he started the year off with seven figures. It's a good number right there, you know. And I'm just like, for me, I started with six liquid and continue to grow. And I've continued to grow from there where I'm talking to a financial advisor regularly because I'm trying to figure this thing out before I give it back and before I just fuck everything up, you know, because this is all a whole new experience for me, you know. So I know I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know. So I want to be able to manage things correctly the first time, right? So I just wanted to stress that because it's really, really important. I see you, Rico. What's good, bro? But yeah, so you know, for me, as I continue to go throughout my journey, I'm doing the same exact thing, at least trying to in my own way that fits my strategy and what I'm comfortable with. That both Chris and Juicy Trades mentioned, you know, because it's important. You don't want to just make money; you want to keep the money too, right? And then you want to give it a job so that it could work for you. You know, so I definitely appreciate you sharing that, man. I definitely want to tap in with you because you know, just information. I'm always trying to inquire and trying to learn. And I think if you surround yourself with the right people, and that's everybody that's listening right now, you know, you can learn something new that can really impact your life in a great way. And when it comes to that financial literacy, it's extremely important. I can't stress that enough. You know, for me, I come from humble beginnings, so I don't have that table talk of credit or savings or investing. You know, I'm figuring it out as I go. I think I've done a great job, but I know there's still so much more to learn. You know, the more you learn, the more you earn. So yeah, guys, just make sure you guys are tapping in, especially to Chris and then anybody else who has maybe a little bit more experience than you. Don't hesitate to raise your hand and ask questions. You know, everybody's on a different level, but it's not like a competition. You know, it's all information that could change your life. This trading journey is your own personal hustle. It's your own journey. So you got to stay in your own lane and focus on yourself and what you got going on. And when you do that and you start having success and you have your edge, and you could you could change your whole family situation as well, and then you can teach one as well. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
Hey, I want to know how y'all feel about Square as a company, and where do you see it going, and what's your price target for it?
Nah, the biggest Square enthusiast is in the room right now. I wouldn't be able to answer that, but I know somebody else who would. I can't bring them up though.
He got to put that request in, man. Well, I just invited him again. Me though, honestly, I had Square on my watch. You trade Strat. It went inside today. I haven't messed with Square in a long time, so I'm not the best one to tell you with it. It's currently trading at 109. Went inside down. You got room to 103.53. You just need to get out of this downtrend that it's in, man. Yeah, because we hit this high on October 27th and it just went straight higher lows ever since then, man. We need to get out of this downtrend before I can mess with this at all. We got time for one more. I got a roll here. I think we're gonna cut it and call it here, man. This was cool. We'll do another one of these soon. Thanks for everybody coming up, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Let's kill it.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yo, download Apex. Stop playing.
Here you go, GTA, bro.
All right, later, X. Yo, we'll talk. I'm gonna call you later.